Om. 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 शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Welcome to Bhagavad Gita classes. In the last session, we have completed the second chapter. So today, let us see the summary of the second chapter. The second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita can be broadly divided into four sections, or we can say four topics. First topic, or the first section, called Arjuna Sharanagati. Arjuna Sharanagati predominantly deals shloka number 1 to 10. Then the second topic, we can say Sankhya Yoga, or we can also call it Jnana Yoga. As this chapter name is a Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya Yoga is nothing but the Jnana Yoga, predominantly discussed from shloka number 11 to 38. Then comes the third topic, Karma Yoga. This Karma Yoga discussed predominantly from shloka number 39 to 53. Then the last topic, Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. Sthita Prajna. That is from shloka number 54 to 72. That is the end of the second chapter, the 72. So Arjuna Sharanagati, Sankhya Yoga, or you can say Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Sthita Prajna. So these are the four topics are covered in the second chapter. Now let us discuss Arjuna Sharanagati. So to understand this Arjuna Sharanagati in the second chapter, we have to keep the back end the first chapter, because the Arjuna Sharanagati in continuation with the first chapter. So we have discussed about this Arjuna's situation in the first chapter. In the oddest place in the battlefield, he is discovered his attachment is a problems. The problem of samsara. It is not that only the Arjuna's problem. It is the problem of every human being. Somewhere or otherwhere, with something or other thing, we are getting the attachment. and we are experiencing the consequences. It is not about Arjuna. We are studying about our own self here. We are that Arjuna. The only thing which is happened with Arjuna, even though Arjuna is having this attachment, but it came out in the battlefield. So this attachment, which is nothing but the problem of samsara, and this problem of samsara is nothing but the problem of raga, shoka, and moha. Comes with the raga attachment, then leads to the shoka, and then leads to the moha. So what is the meaning of the raga? Raga means the problem of attachment. Now this is, remember, this is not only the Arjuna's problem, this is the human problem. It is our own problem. The object of attachment will differ from person to person, from individual to individuals. It differs. But the problem of attachment is universal. It may be different from person to person, or percentage may be the different, but we are having this attachment. It is an universal. This attachment is the fundamental human problem. It is a fundamental human problem, which Arjuna had all the time, but he discovers the problem with its intensity in the first chapter. Once a person has this attachment, then what will be there? The natural consequences. What is the natural consequence? Sorrow, which is called vishadha, or you can say grief. The grief because of two reasons. What are those two reasons? When I am attached to something, this is the one reason. The second reason is I don't want to lose that particular thing. That means I want that particular thing or a person to be eternally with me. Attached to this, it should be with me all the time. I never want to lose that particular thing or particular object. But intellectually, we all know that it is against to the law of creation, law of nature. Whatever comes, that goes. Whatever was created, that will be destroyed. Whatever is taken birth will have the death. Where is the eternally I want that particular thing? It is the against to the law of creation, law of nature. But what happens? I forget that universal principle. And I want that object of attachment to be with me. Honey, I love you, be with me. If the honey is not with you, what you say immediately? I hate you. Or I suffer, you are not with me. I never want to lose that object. And once I try to hold on to that object, any type of loss of that object, whether it is an actual loss or even an imaginary loss of that object, what happens to us? We will not be able to withstand. We will not able to withstand. Oh my God, I lost this, I lost this. Even we cannot imagine. Just look at in your own situation. Is there any time we have imagined that if someone very near and dear to me, dear to us, if they lost by themselves, we don't even, hey, please, Srinivas, don't talk these kind of things. Okay, early morning, we are studying the Bhagavad Gita. You are trying to imagine that we are losing someone. No, please. You can say any other thing is okay. That means even for the imagination also we are not ready. That is our situation. Our Arjuna, who is representing us, was intensely attached to Bhishma and Drona. He had not lost them. Still they are alive. But Arjuna visualizes this war and also possible death of these people. War is not yet started. He started imagining, because when you do the war, definitely people will die. So he started imagining possible death of these people, and he continuing to survive without these people. This is just imagination. I am doing the war, we are going to do the war, these people are died, then I am going to live by myself. Just imagination. The very imaginary loss of Bhishma and Drona, etc., Arjuna is not able to withstand, and therefore he goes through the problem of sorrow. Remember, this sorrow not born of actual loss, but born of imaginary loss. This is the second problem of samsara, shoka. The attachment, raga, leading towards the shoka. So now, the third problem is, once the mind is under the grip of this raga and dvesha, once when the mind comes under the clutches of this raga and shoka, what happens? What will be the consequences? It loses the capacity to judge the things properly. That means when there is a raga, there will be shoka. With these two, raga and dvesha, one will lose to discriminate between the right and wrong. One will lose the capacity to discriminate between the right and wrong. What is dharma, what is adharma. So that we call moha. So raga leading to the shoka, shoka leading to the moha. Or we can say this moha in one more way, the conflict, the human conflict. Therefore, the third problem of samsara is moha or conflict. So put together raga, shoka, moha, we can call samsara. What is a samsara? Samsara is nothing but raga, shoka, moha. Nothing to think. If someone is taken the sannyasa, given up everything, just only the akad ropes, don't think that that person is free from the samsara. If that person is having this raga, shoka, moha, even though that person is a sannyasi, or even though that person is living himself or herself alone, can be called samsara. You may think that, oh, once one gets the marriage, only the married person is under the samsara. In India, this is how people think. Samsara means having the family. Family means wife, husband, and children. But these days, modern times, people are thinking wife and husband together itself is a samsara, even though there are no children. But samsara is not having the spouse, not having the children, or having the children. Samsara is that one who is having raga, shoka, moha. That means they are in samsara. It should be very clear to us. Now, once when that person is in a samsara, what happens? He will be facing the consequences. Not only he or she faces or discovers this problem, he also tries to solve the problem. Here in the second chapter, Arjuna started discovering this problem. He is facing the problem, and he also discovers this problem that he is in samsara. When I use the word samsara, please understand raga, shoka, moha. Arjuna is discovered this problem, but what he is doing is trying to solve the problem by himself. Important change. Step number 1, Arjuna discovered the problem. After discovering the problem, what Arjuna is doing is trying to solve the problem by himself. How you can say that Arjuna is trying to solve the problem by himself? Answer is very easy. Because Arjuna started giving a big lecture to the Krishna. Hey Krishna, this is not good, that is not good. All these things he is trying to convince the Krishna. That means he is trying to solve the problem by himself. The entire first chapter, if you observe, or first section of the second chapter, where Krishna is only just listening. Poor Krishna. Arjuna is giving the lecture to the Krishna, he has to just keep listening to him. See, look at how the Prarabdha works. Even the Krishna, Jagadguru Krishna, he has to just listen to the Arjuna for entire first chapter. When Arjuna discovers the problem and tries to solve the problem by himself, but not able to solve the problem by himself. Once when Arjuna discovers the helplessness that not able to solve the problem by himself, what we will do in general, if we are not able to solve the problem by ourselves, we will try to seek some external help, external guidance. It is like an example, if someone is drowning in the water and when they are helplessness, whatever available, they will try to hold to that one. Now when Arjuna discovers his helplessness, he looked it around, who is there in front of him? It is a luck. It is called grace. Our Lord Krishna is there in front of him. Whoever is there with that person at that particular moment, whenever we are in a difficulty, whenever we are in a helplessness, whoever is there with us, just we will seek their help. Now there comes the luck only, there comes the grace only. By chance, if you seek the help of someone who is also helplessness, what happens? You both are going to perish together. Like a Kathopanishad says, Ande naiva niyamana ita andaha. A blind person seeking the help of the another blind person. What happens? Both will get problems. If one is having the problem, other also will get the problem. Here, very important point. One need to have the grace. Now, at this particular situation, when Arjuna discovered the helplessness, he want to surrender to the Ishvara. In general also, in our life, when we discover the helplessness, when we are not able to solve the problem by our own self, we will surrender to the Lord. Then only we will remember the God. But here, another point, please make a note. Surrender takes place only once. It is not that every day, getting up the morning, hey Ishvara, I am surrendered to you. Again, next day morning, hey Ishvara, I am surrendered to you. Ishvara will be thinking how many times he will surrender to me. That means you have not understood the surrender properly, or you don't know what is the surrender means. It is only the lip movement. Surrender means from the bottom of the heart. Whatever we are having, everything surrender to the Bhagavan. Once you have surrendered, what is there with you to surrender? Tell me. So every day you cannot say, I surrender to you, I surrender to you. It is not like, honey, I love you. Every day morning get up, honey, I love you. Again next day morning, honey, I love you. Surrender is not like that. Once surrender means surrender, that's it. that should come from the bottom of the heart with understanding. Now here Arjuna surrendered. Then he says, Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha pruchami tvam dharma sammoda cheta ichreyasyanishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Hey Krishna, Karpanya dosho hata svabhavaha pruchami tvam dharma sammoda chetaha. यच्छ्रेयः स्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेहं शादिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम. Seventh shloka of the second chapter, where the turning takes place. So in the second chapter, beginning alone, Arjuna discovers the helplessness or karpanyam, and once the helplessness is discovered, then what is the natural consequences? The natural consequences is seeking the support. So he said, Karpanya dosho hata swabhavaha shloka. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam, especially has to be highlighted. The two things we need to highlight in this shloka. One is yat shreyaha. That shreyaha has to be highlighted. Then Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. I am surrendering to you. You please accept me as your student and teach me the Shreyas. And this Shreyas and Prayas is a topic which is highlighted in the Kathopanishad. All the four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha Purusharthas are classified into the two sections or two groups. One is called Prayas, other one is called Shreyas. Or you can say the entire Karma Kanda, Dharma, Artha, Kama can be considered as a Prayas, and the Upanishads, the Jnana Kanda, is considered as a Shreyas. Now Arjuna is asking the Shreyas. That also reveals another important point. Arjuna knows what is the Shreyas, what is the Prayas. Because of this Raga, Shoka, Moha, is not able to solve the problem by himself. So hence seeking the support of the Bhagavan. Now with the shloka number 7 of the second chapter, our Arjuna said that he surrendered to the Bhagavan, is accepted the charioteer, the driver as a guru. He recognized the greatness in the charioteer who is Krishna, and he accepted him as a guru. Then he says, I am surrendering at your feet. What do you mean by surrendering? That means, remember, we oftenly use the word I surrender to you, I surrender to you. Surrender means couple of things comes with this word. What are those couple of things? I am ready to listen to you. Point number 1. I am ready to listen to you. I will not put my nose in between. That is the point number 1. There is another point. This person means one who surrendered, that person will have something called apata jnanam. Apata jnanam. Apata jnanam. Apata jnanam means reading this book or that book in the modern time, browsing the Google, browsing the chat GPT, talking with this person while going in a bus, talking with another person when you are taking the tea in some ashram, some places. So while doing all this person will acquire some knowledge, some information. Here little, there, little from the different sources. This is called apata jnanam. Means not having the clear clarity, but having some knowledge, some information. This collected, gathered information from the different sources creates a kind of notion in that person. With that notion, when this person listens to the teacher or any teachings, will come in between. They pops up. So when the person is listening to the teacher, listening to the Shastra, only those notions will come. Hey, that book says like that. This is says like this. You are doing this one. How Kathopanishad teaches like this? Why Bhagavad Gita teaches like that? I read a novel. In that book, it says like that. All kinds of things will come. So when I say surrender, that means all my notions I am keeping aside. When I use the word surrender, all my notions I am keeping aside. That means I will allow the Shastra to unfold the topic. So let me try to understand first what Shastra is teaching through Guru Mukataha. So this is another important point when we say surrender. Our prejudices, our notions, the false notions has to be kept aside. We are not saying that you should not think. We are not saying you should not use your buddhi. But what we say, you first listen to the Shastra. Then try to do mananam. In that mananam, all those things are going to be resolved. While listening, do pavana punyena Shravanam Kurya. The more Shraddha one has to do the Shravanam. So this is another point. And this is indicated in the form of taking sannyasa. Sannyasa means don't take again literally the orchid ropes, but that is symbolically given as sannyasa, which is very highly respectable things. In the sannyasa, there is something called mundana. Mundana means clean head shaved. That is a symbolic that all my notions I am giving up. It is a symbolic expression. I am giving up all my notions. Okay. Now, once when this all the false ideas, whatever we got, all these false ideas when we keep aside, then we have to listen. Not only we have to listen, we should try to assimilate, try to do intensive listening. Don't bring our false notions. Don't bring our false ideas. Don't jump into the judgment. Not jumping into the judgment is also called surrender. Otherwise, Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita or Guru says something, then immediately I will jump. All these things will not be there. Don't try to learn anything with your likes and dislikes. This is very oftenly we use whenever you are learning something. Don't learn with your likes and dislikes. Keep your likes and dislikes separate, aside. Then you learn. When you are learning something with your likes and dislikes, your likes and dislikes will be influencing the teaching. You will not get the proper teaching. You will not learn properly. All these things comes under surrender. Then how to approach the teacher, that is given in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. That time we will discuss. So let us hold that topic for the 4th chapter. So now, the moment Arjuna becomes a disciple, the moment Arjuna becomes a disciple, the Krishna, who is Krishna here? Krishna, who is a driver, an ordinary driver. This ordinary driver, Krishna, converted into Partha Sarathi. Partha Sarathi. You know, Sarathi means the driver, but whom he is driving? He is going to drive the Partha. Who is Partha? Arjuna's other name is Partha. So, hence Krishna got a new name, Partha Sarathi, one who is driving the Arjuna. Not only is a chariot, but also Arjuna himself is Krishna is driving the Arjuna. So, hence Now Krishna become the Guru, the Gita Upadesha Karta. Gita Upadesha Karta. Now Krishna became a Upadesha Karta. Then we can say Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. He became a Jagat Guru. And that means a Jnani becomes a Guru not because of the Jnani's choice. Observe here the situation. Krishna is not become a Guru by out of his own choice. Krishna didn't become a Guru by his choice. Jnani becomes a Guru not because of his or her Jnani's choice, but because of the choice of the other person. Who is the other person? One who is ready to learn, one who asks the knowledge. Because of that person, this Jnani becomes a Guru. Otherwise, a Jnani will not promote themselves. I am a Guru. A Jnani becomes the Guru because of the choice of the other person. So as long as I do not want to learn, even the greatest Jnani cannot help unless we open ourselves to learn. Even the Shankaracharya comes, even Bhagavan Krishna comes, we are not going to learn anything. We need to have the inclination to study, inclination to learn. That is the reason Bhagavan Krishna not opened his mouth. He didn't taught anything to Arjuna so far. Now from the second chapter, 11th shloka onwards, because in the 7th shloka, Arjuna asked the Krishna to teach me, and he also said, accept me as your Shishya, student, then only Bhagavan Krishna started a teaching. Now, another question. Very oftenly people will ask this question, why Krishna taught only to Arjuna? Why not to any other person like a Yudhishthira or Bhima or Bhishma, etc.? Why? Everyone will think, why Krishna taught only to Arjuna? Why not Duryodhana, etc.? Answer is very simple. What is that answer? They didn't ask him to teach. When they didn't ask him to teach, why should he teach? It's another important point, please remember. So, if you look at this second chapter, shloka number 1 to up to shloka number 10, predominantly our Arjuna is talking. In the 11th shloka onwards, Upadesha, the teachings takes place. So far, whatever we have discussed, the first chapter up to the 10th shloka of the second chapter, we can say introduction, or we can say Upodgata Prakaranam. You know the Prakarana Granthas. Upodgata Prakaranam. Upodgata means introduction. Just it is an introduction. Now comes the second topic, which is called Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, that we will continue from the next class. Oh, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.